Hello viewers, under the course of Basic Psychological Processes, we are going to discuss now about perceptual constancy. I am Durgesh Nandini, teaching faculty at Center for Health Psychology. The objective of this module are: what is perceptual constancy? What are types of perceptual constancy? How does the type of perceptual constancy works in daily life? Perceptual constancy occurs from perception. Perception is the organization, identification and interpretation of sensory information in order to represent and understand the presented information or the environment. Perception is not only the passive receipt of these signals, but it is also shaped by recipient's learning, memory, expectations and attention. Perception can be split into two processes: processing the sensory input, which transforms these two level information to higher level of information, that is, extracts shapes for object recognition. Second is processing, which is connected with a person's concept and expectations or knowledge, restorative and selective mechanisms such as attention that influence perception. The process of perception begins with an object in the real world, termed the distal stimulus or distal object. By means of light, sound or another physical process, the object stimulates the body's sensory organ. These sensory organs transform the input energy into neural activity, a process called transduction. This raw pattern of neural activity is called the proximal stimulus. These neural signals are transmitted to the brain and processed. The resulting mental recreation of the distal stimulus is the percept. Perceptual constancy occurs when our perception of an object remains the same even when our proximal sensation of the distal object changes. The physical characteristics of the external distal object are probably not changing. Perceptual constancy is the way our retina views objects. As we move around or go further away from an object, it looks as if it is shrinking and getting smaller, but we all know that it is not. It is all just the different images produced by our retina. But because we must be able to deal effectively with the external world, our perceptual system has mechanisms that adjust our perception of the proximal stimulus. Thus, the perception remains constant although the proximal sensation changes. The tendency of animals and humans to see familiar object as having standard shape, size, color or location regardless of changes in the angle of perspective, distance or lighting. Perceptual constancy is responsible for the ability to identify objects under a variety of conditions, which seems to be taken into account during a process of mental reconstitution of the known image. The impression tends to conform to the object rather than to the actual stimulus. We perceive objects as unchanging even though the stimuli we receive about those objects change, such as importance of experience and expectations, example, babies or pygmies. Perceptual constancy is having three types of constancy into it. First, size constancy, the tendency to see a figure as being the same size despite changes in its retinal size. Second, shape constancy, the tendency to see a form of unchanging despite changes in its retinal size. Third, lightness constancy, the tendency to see an object as being the same even under different light intensities. First, we will discuss about size constancy. Size constancy is a perception that an object maintains the same size despite changes in the size of the proximal stimulus. The size of an image on the retina depends directly on the distance of that object from the eye. The same object at two different distances projects different sized images on the retina. Some striking illusions can be achieved when our sensory and perceptual system are misled by the very same information that usually helps us to achieve size constancy. Here, two line segments that are of the same length appears to be a different length. We use shapes and angles for our everyday experiences to draw conclusions about the relative sizes of the object. Equivalent images size at different depths usually indicate different sized objects. An example of size constancy is Muller-Lyer illusion. Here, two line segments that are of the same length appear to be a different lengths. We use shapes and angles from our everyday experience to draw conclusions about the relative size of objects. Equivalent images size at different depth usually indicate different sized objectives. The Muller-Lyer illusion is an optical illusion consisting of a stylized arrow. When viewers are asked to place a mark on the figure at the midpoint, they invariably place it more towards the tail end. The illusion was devised by Franz Karl Muller-Lyer, a German sociologist, in 1889. Shape constancy. Like size constancy, shape constancy relates to the perception of distances, but in different way. Shape constancy is a perception that an object maintains the same shape despite changes in the shape of the proximal stimulus. We perceive the object to be a rectangular door opening, but if we drew this out, it is made of varying shapes. As the actual shape of the pictured door changes, some part of the door seems to be changing differently in their distance from us. It is possible to use neuropsychological imaging to localize parts of the brain that are used in this shape analysis. They are in the extrastriate cortex. Points near the outer edge of the door seem to move more quickly toward us than do points near the inner edge. Nonetheless, we perceive that the door remains the same shape. Our eyes deceive us when we look down railway tracks, but our brains do not. The rails appear to converge in the distance, but we know that the rails are parallel. We know that they are the same distance apart a mile down the track as they are where we are standing. So, the brain says the tracks only appear to converge because they are distant. But how does the brain know that the tracks are distant? The brain answers they must be distant because they appear to converge. The flow of this logic must shock computer programmers, but they are accustomed to the limitations of the inferior hardware. Therefore, our brain helps us to maintain the shape constancy. This is the pictorial representation of the example we discussed in the first part of the shape constancy.